We are live from Schenectady County. Summer night. Come see us on the rooftop of Nico's Rooftop Tavern. Coach Jim Fassel joining us now, former Giants coach with Armen and Levack, 104.5 The Team. And, Coach, 2 days ago when the news came out that JPP had his right index finger amputated, your reaction as a former NFL head coach?
First of all, I mean, you remove the football part of it, and just as a human being and a person that you like and you're around a lot, you're sad for him. I mean, this isn't the most tragic thing that can happen to you, but, hopefully, he comes about it all, comes back and doesn't affect his life that much and those type of things. But maybe kids reading the paper or following him, they'll avoid working with fireworks.
Coach, I mean, he hasn't even signed his tender at this point. I mean, as you look forward and you're trying to plan your defense around this guy, are you just completely concerned about his future as a whole because of what he means to your organization?
Well, I am to a degree, but I don't think, and again, I don't have the medical evaluation in front of me and things, but I think as much as anything, if it was still true, I mean, Ronnie Barnes, the trainer, tried to go see him, and they wouldn't let him see him. Well, I mean, that would bother me a lot. And but I think, we got to wait till the doctors give all their evaluations and let the New York medical team look at him. They'll have to do that before they're going to sign him to a contract. But I got a feeling it's not really going to affect him that much.
Coach Fassel, why specifically does it bother you that he didn't let the trainer come see him at the hospital?
You've got a great history with him, first of all, and showing compassion for somebody that played for you. You paid him a lot of money. It's been a great relationship. And going forward, obviously you're concerned about his health, and you're concerned about his ability to play football and all those things, and to fly down there and to see him. And then, if he was in intensive care unit and they don't want anybody in there, I could see that. But that's not my understanding.
Right. Yeah, the understanding is that he purposely kept them away from him. Is there a time where you have to sit down with him and have a face-to-face? Are you trying to call him at this time? As a coach, how would you play this one out?
Well, I would just leave word with his parents or whoever is closest to him that we're disappointed we didn't get a chance to see him. We are concerned about his health, number one, and we wish that he would make contact with us as soon as he's able to do that. And then I'd also reach out to his agent and say, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I mean, we've paid this guy a lot of money, and, we want him back. Negotiations are just part of the deal. It doesn't mean you're not going to sign or you hate each other or any of that stuff. It's just part of the process. And just say, we're concerned about his health, number one, what his attitude is about coming back and playing and all that stuff at the proper time. I mean, let him take care of this medical thing with it going on with him. We don't need to interrupt that. But at some point in time, we need to have some communication.
Former Giants coach Jim Fassel with Armen and Levack on your home for New York Sports 104.5 The Team. Coach, we had current Giants offensive lineman Jeff Schwartz on the show earlier this week, and here's what he said about JPP.
I would have paid for someone to do that for me just because, I can afford to do that, especially while I'm playing. That's one of the luxuries of playing in the NFL and making a good salary is that I can afford to pay people to do stuff that I wouldn't do normally.
Coach, do NFL players have the obligation to keep themselves out of harm's way and keep themselves out of situations like this in the offseason?
Oh, yeah. And somebody's got to get to these guys, because not every one of them is going to be smart enough to do this. I remember going way back. I mean, you're talking in 1980, okay, when I had John Elway as a quarterback at Stanford. And I said, John, let me just tell you this. I'm sure your father has. You don't ever pick up any power tools, power saws, any of that stuff. You got a great career in athletics. You don't need to make a mistake and chop off two of your fingers on your right hand. You're done, okay? And then when I went to Denver as a Broncos offensive coordinator, Pat Bowlen came to me one day, and he said, Jim, I have asked John, his dad's asked him, everybody's asked him to quit riding the motorcycle for now. And I still see him once in a while riding the motorcycle. So I called John in one day, and I said, John, do you like me as a coach? Oh, yeah, Coach, I love having you here. Do you like my family? Oh, yeah, your family's great. I love them. I said, well, then get off the motorcycle, because if you get in an accident, I'm out of here. And he said, okay, I will. And so he stopped riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
you got to talk to these guys about that, and you don't think about those things, except for the fact until it happens to somebody, and then everybody else wises up.
Yeah. Armen and Levack, 104.5 The Team. Fascinating conversation we're having with former Giants head coach Jim Fassel. Levack and I right now are broadcasting live from Nico's Rooftop Tavern in downtown Schenectady. Tonight is Schenectady Summer Night. Come see us.
Now, Coach, like, do you have a meeting at some point? Is it training camp where you sit down and tell these guys, like you said, don't ride the motorcycle, don't do fireworks? Like, is there a meeting for that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I had a conversation all the time about how we act, how we do this, Now, I'll be honest with you, I've never said anything, don't play with fireworks. I've just said, you got to take care of your body. Your body is your livelihood. And we went through a litany of things. And one of the big things I always said, and especially I've made the point to the young guys, is all the social media. Guys, the rule we all learned when we were 5 years old, if you don't have something good to say about somebody, you don't say anything at all. And I said, none of you better be a spokesman of criticizing your teammates, your coaches, or your opponent, or you will be in my office, and I'm not happy about it. Never had an incident like that.
Yeah.
Somebody sent out something. But you've got to do that. As a head coach, that's your responsibility. Your responsibility is not just X's and O's. It's to manage the entire group of people.
A little bit of a babysitter.
Well, you could put it that way, but a stern babysitter.
Okay.
I don't have any problem having somebody in my office and jump down their throat because something they did or something I heard they did. And, that's where I think people underestimate the job of a head coach. You got so many other things to do other than just X's and O's to keep the organization going in the right direction.
Jim Fassel with Armen and Levack, 104.5 The Team. And, Coach, as you look at the Giants, a lot of storylines heading into this year. Odell Beckham Jr. has one of the greatest years that a rookie wide receiver has ever had in the history of the NFL. And now in the offseason, he's on the Madden cover. He's on TV all the time. He's on the ESPN The Body Issue. Is there a part of you, he had a hamstring injury that has prevented him from working out with the team this summer. Is there a part of you as a coach that's going to pull him in the office and just make sure that he's putting all those distractions aside? How concerned are you about that?
Well, if I was a coach, I'd have him in and have a nice long talk with him. And, life is life. But, what you need to do now is shut all that stuff down. And I've done it before where I'll pick up the phone and call the agent. And I'll say, you better support this because otherwise this guy's focus is not on playing football. It's on promoting himself. That's not a good deal. And, again, that is some stuff that the coach has to always be on top of, or you've got all kinds of problems.
Armen and Levack, we're live at Nico's Rooftop Tavern, downtown Schenectady, getting you ready for Schenectady Summer Night tonight. Coach Jim Fassel on the phone with us now.
Hey, Coach Fassel, the other big story in the news right now, DeAndre Jordan, he verbally commits to the Mavericks, then pulls a complete 180, goes back home to the Clippers. Have you ever been in a situation like this or heard of a situation like this in the NFL?
Yeah, there's always gamesmanship in that. But, I'd almost, if the guy had committed to us and said that we had a verbal agreement, we're done, we're good, you're coming here, and then he pulled a escape and went somewhere else and didn't answer his phone or anything else. Personally, I'd say I'm glad I don't have the guy because he doesn't have any character. What's to say he won't pull something on us again? So I wouldn't, stuff like that. It goes down, but then my attitude is it probably works out for the best that he's not here with us.
Coach Jim Fassel, Coach, thank you so much. I know you're living in Nevada these days, enjoying life, and thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Always good talking to you, my friend.
Always good to talk to you. Anytime.